Phew. I am back after a little break from this past weekend. Again, a huge shout out to Play TCG and Bandai for the opportunity for commentating this last weekend's regional in Dallas, Texas. In addition to the tournament organizers, judges, and staff members, I am thankful for all of their hard work, and I hope to follow up the performance in the near future. In regards to the casting crew, I'm also going to briefly shout out my fellow co-caster Anthony Senegal, who is known as Antics on YouTube, along with the other casters The Eggman, Cosmic, Dane Reich, UniX TCG, True Champion Steven, and Gigi Doa for one heck of a weekend. If you love the Bandai card games, definitely check out each of these creators for their specialty. Their channels linked in the description for this video. Today's video was almost a cooking with Digimon video, but after looking up the cards and playtesting several games, this is going to be a deck profile because it honestly deserves it. Per the usual, this video will take a look at the key cards of the deck, and the strategy behind it before revealing the deck profile. If you enjoy this type of content, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Jijimon made its first appearance in BT5, its second in BT11. And although there wasn't really much to do with this Digimon, this card quickly became a meme tier Digimon that is under $1 and a very cheap alternate art. That is, until a lot of the testing I did. When Digivolving, Jijimon reveals the top 3 cards of the deck. You may play one Tamer from among them without paying cost. Then place the rest at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Being able to play your Taigas to increase your DP, or your Mimi Tachikawas to fix memory is one thing, but setting up for the when attacking effect is another. When attacking, once per turn for each green or black Tamer you have in play, reveal one card from the top of the deck. You may play any number of green or black Digimon cards whose total play cost adds up to 10 or less without paying the cost. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. While Jijimon can potentially set up one Tamer, playing multiple green or black Tamers means that you can potentially play multiple Digimon. And after some locals mentioned this specific combo, I had to try it myself. Because you know what has a play cost of 10 or less and is green? The answer is Imperialdramon Paladin Mode Ace. With the potential to freely play this Digimon, you can now trash all Digivolution sources in play, and even yeet your opponent's trash to the deck. Dex cards? Protect no more. And while playing this Digimon for free is one thing, you might be wondering how I'm going to give this rush. And the next answer is panjyamon. Panjyamon also made its appearance in BT11, and is a Digimon that is also treated as having Leomon in its name. When Digivolving, you may play one green or blue Tamer card with a cost of 4 or less without paying the cost. Meaning if you Digivolve into this, again, you could play powerful Tamer cards like Davis Motomiya, or even Mimi Tachikawa without paying cost. But the key effect here is the inheritable, which, your turn, once per turn when you play another Digimon by an effect, one of your Digimon gains rush for the turn. Because Jijimon could potentially glean Paladin Mode Ace and reset its position on top so that when you attack, you can play out Paladin Mode Ace out first before you proc any other inheritables. With Panjyamon's effect, you can now simultaneously give that Paladin Mode Ace rush and start wailing on your opponent's board, making sure to send back specific level Digimon that might be blast Digivolved into. Zudomon Ace is probably the worst one to go up against. But real talk, going backwards from Jijimon playing Imperialdramon Paladin Mode Ace, and Panjyamon giving it rush, what's the next problem? Well, on one hand, literally having the Paladin Mode Ace in your hand can be a problem. If only there was some way to manipulate the top of your deck to be exactly what you wanted. Again, oh wait, there is something. Gacha Green employs the use of a singular card that everyone knows and loves, and that is Tortomon. Because of this Digimon's inheritable, when you attack you can slip one green Digimon card from your hand on top of your deck for a plus 3000 DP buff. With Jijimon, you can buff the Digimon and then play out Paladin Mode Ace for free before going Wombo Combo. But now that I've gone over the basics of what you're trying to do, it's time to explore the alternate components that could build to the same line or create a similar strategy. Which means it's time for the main deck profile. For the level 2s, the obvious pick here is going to go to Gummymon. Because this deck is so dependent on the green Tamers to dig deeper to find Imperialdramon, Gummymon assists with this as quickly as possible, even as early as turn 1. Likewise, because this version of the deck is on 3 Mimi Tachikawas, Utilizing the Coromons can help with cycling the top card to determine how you Digivolve, or if you want a specific card to float to the hand. While true you usually want the card in your hand, Coromon becomes the next best thing in my opinion. Level 3 wise, I stole the majority of the terriermon engine for this, because of what it can do. 2 floodgates, though you don't necessarily need them if you want to go all gas and add another lopmon in particular. Lopmon can be insane, especially if you get the combo off for Paladin mode ace. Because who doesn't like unsuspending Paladin mode ace with Alliance? Bounce an opponent's Digimon and do it again? It's pretty insane aggro. But the mandatory fora for this is going to be the terriermon to reduce the cost of a tamer, or lopmon being played by 2 memory. Again, the value is very worth it. The last level 3s I run in this build are the 2 green salamons, mainly because not only can they search for Mikamon, Panjyamon, and the lopmon and terriermons, but the Royal Knight Leopardmon as well. Because Jijimon is currently the only Digimon that can do what he does, Leopardmon is an alternative line to take to reduce the play cost of Digimon, at times up to 7 cost, effectively making it a 2 cost to play out Paladin mode ace. I haven't quite looked into the substitutions yet for this lineup, but I've been really enjoying it so far. For the level 4s, you've got 10 in the lineup with 4 of them of course defaulting to tortomon. However, Togemon is an amazing Digimon that can play your tamers for a cost reduced by 3, as long as you suspend a Digimon. Meaning if you wanted to, you could promote out Terriermon, play out 1 tamer for 1 or 2 memory depending on which one it is, Digivolve into Togemon, and then play out another tamer for 0 or 1 memory. Of course, this does require you to have at least 3, or even 4 memory to do this depending on the tamers you're playing. Mikamon is a float in the lineup that could really be anything, but at times you might run over your opponent's Digimon and that extra memory gain is nice. You could also use the BT13 Mikamon for the inheritable DP buffs and on play, Piercing. But honestly, I didn't care for this option. Early renditions of this deck looked at playing a more fortitude based card, like Aquilamon, but Salamon helps finding your 3s, 4s, 5s, and even 6s. Level 5s I've already covered the details with panjyamon, but what else seemed like a good fit? Honestly, with so much removal, there was only one Digimon that caught my attention, and parrotmon seemed to fit the bill. Because it has a play cost of 7 or less, this Digimon could be played for free via Leopardmon X's effect. But the best part also is by establishing a Digimon in the raise, and potentially passing turn with a tamer. If your opponent hits this insecurity, they do battle with this Digimon, and then it'll get to play itself for free. Remember, the caveat for this Digimon is to not have a Digimon in play, and putting out a level 5 with a Mimi in play means you already go into Jijimon next turn. While there is less control, that is what the other stack is for. And while Jijimon can cheat out everything in this deck minus the other level 6s, Leopardmon and Leopardmon X are here to take up the duty of playing out Paladin mode ace if need be. Leopardmon has a when Digivolving and main effect that lets you play 1 green Digimon or Royal Nitrate Digimon from the hand for the cost. When it would be played by this effect, reduce the play cost by 4. All turns when you play another Digimon, all of your green and or Royal Nitrate Digimon gain blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. In early testing, not having a blocker kind of hurt if your opponent could counter your board swarm in a single turn. But with the release of EX7, Shoto Kazuma might be the better option. But I'll also explain why I like the current tamer lineup. Leopardmon X, of course, in combination with Leopardmon or the X Antibody option card, provides the reduced cost of 7, easily playing a level 5, and then digivolving to even Jijimon for full combo. I playtested the Paladin mode ace at 2 copies, and 3 copies, and honestly found that 3 was the best number to play it at. 2 felt like I wasn't seeing it at times, and even then, it's a big body that can be hit in security that will guarantee almost the deletion of something. Considering you could return all the cards in your own trash as well, means you could gain back memory from the play. Option card wise, I tried a wide variety of option cards, from Double Typhoon, Heaven's Judgment, to what is currently on the screen. Personally, I preferred Agility Trainings to Double Typhoon, mainly because that Digivolution cost is so important. Combined with the likes of even Taiga and Togemon, and you can ramp up to a level 6 very quickly. Board removal felt inconsistent, but again, find what you like and make adjustments as need be. Finally, the tamers I found to be very helpful were Mimi Tachikawa and Taiga. Mimi Tachikawa is still supreme in green decks because of what she can do. At times, you might be able to get 2 or even 3 Mimis in play, and start going through all your eggs. But considering Paladin Mode Ace might be in play, this lets you also freely promote up another Digimon for game. Taiga on the other hand provides extra DP buffs, and Digivolution cost reductions when you go into level 5, 6, or 7 Digimon. And while you could, as mentioned earlier, put in Shoto Kazuma for that memory at the start of main phase, the Piercing and Blocker might not be as necessary considering the DP buffs could be worth it. The advantage of this deck is that a lot of players seem to be shifting more towards black-based decks at this point, which inherently leads to de-digivolving in more. The amazing element of this deck is that you can play out your level 5s and then digivolve into a level 6, rendering your board loss at minimum as most black effects delete play cost 6 or lower. But the major disadvantage with this deck is the early setup in order to go into your level 6s, and hyper-aggressive board states that can outrace you. Edda Valkyrymon Ace plays are especially susceptible, unless you can guarantee the Jijimon playing out Paladin Mode Ace with Rush. Because in turn, the Paladin Mode Ace can potentially deal with the Valkyrymon Ace, leading to more memory to play with on your turn. Overall, again, this deck isn't perfect by any means, but it does give you an idea of what certain cards in the Digimon card game can do. Because after playing with it, it did bring back a little bit of a spark when it came to deck creativity. What are you going to change, and what are you thinking of adding? Let me know, and I'll catch you next week on more scheduled Digimon content. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.